Is Cardi B pregnant again? Or is social media just running wild with speculation? After her recent performance at the Liddell Festival in New York City, fans are convinced they saw more than just choreography on stage. They swear they saw a baby bump. And now, whispers have turned into full-blown rumors tying her to none other than NFL star Stefon Diggs, a man with his own controversial reputation. But this isn't just another celebrity pregnancy theory. This potential baby news, if true, could have massive consequences. From record label obligations and long-awaited album deadlines to a tour that her team desperately needs to happen, the timing couldn't be more complicated. And that's not even touching the rumors about who Stefon Diggs really is, or why Cardi's decision to be with him has people comparing him to Offset all over again. Just when fans thought the drama had peaked, Cardi's newest single sparked a whole new controversy, this time involving another female rapper who's accusing her of stealing creative work. So now, Cardi's not just facing questions about a possible pregnancy. She's being dragged into a full-blown music theft scandal, too. From hidden relationships to label pressure, baby rumors to plagiarism, claims this story isn't just about Cardi B. It's about the chaos swirling around her every move, and whether the queen of clapbacks is quietly falling into the same pattern she once fought to escape.
Okay, so I know I posted that story, and a lot of people was commenting. So yes, I want to be very, very clear. I fuck with Cardi. I heard the song. I fuck with the song. But as I was listening to it, I was just like, sounded very familiar. And like I said, the song that I made this song 3-4 years ago. My manager at the time wanted me to make more music for females, not be so ratchet, not be so aggressive. They wanted me to make more twerk music, which wasn't really my vibe for real. But I went ahead and made it. I pushed the song down like 20 minutes. Here y'all go, boom. Threw it on YouTube. I didn't even release it. I just threw it on YouTube. But that's neither here nor there, because regardless of the quality of the music or whatever, I had the plan. I just didn't have the platform, clearly. The idea was there, and I really do feel like you just took it and perfected it. You're not going to be able to tell me that, no, and even if it wasn't the artists themselves, even if it wasn't Cardi herself, somebody on that team heard the song. Yes, it is a common saying, but the coincidence for you to say outside and the beat sound the same, to me, that's too close. Somebody heard it and was like, I could see where they was trying to go with this. Let's take it here. I hear it, and I know I ain't tripping. I know I'm not.
It all started with a single clip, just a few seconds of footage from Cardi B's high-energy performance at the Liddell Festival in New York City. On stage, she was doing what she always does, commanding attention, hyping the crowd, and moving with that signature confidence. But it wasn't her lyrics or dance moves that had fans buzzing. It was her stomach. Viewers immediately latched on to what looked like a small but noticeable bump beneath her outfit. Social media went into overdrive. Zoomed-in screenshots flooded Twitter. TikTok edits slowed the footage down frame by frame. And within hours, Cardi pregnant was trending. What made this different from the usual celebrity gossip was how visual it was. This wasn't just a blind rumor. People were watching the same clip, drawing the same conclusion, and asking the same question. Is Cardi B hiding a baby? She didn't address the buzz, didn't drop a comment, didn't post a clapback. And in the world of Cardi B, silence speaks volumes, especially when the timing overlaps with whispers that had already been floating around for weeks. Because long before this performance, a very specific rumor was already making waves. And it had everything to do with Cardi's alleged new man and a very unexpected pregnancy claim. Long before the Liddell footage sparked baby bump rumors, one voice had already thrown gasoline on the fire. Go to Alexis, a social media personality known for dropping behind-the-scenes tea. And what she claimed wasn't just gossip, it was a bombshell. According to Alexis, a trusted birdie told her that Cardi B and NFL wide receiver Stefon Diggs are not only dating, but allegedly expecting a child together. Her exact words, "She's pregnant. There's nothing wrong with Cardi having another child. But with Stefon Diggs?" The internet barely had time to process it before fans started connecting dots. Cardi had been spotted getting cozy with Stefon earlier in the year, after her relationship with Offset quietly fell apart. Again, no official statements, no red carpet reveals, just subtle movements and low-key links that had people raising eyebrows. And if what Alexis said is even remotely true, then that Liddell bump wasn't just wardrobe-related. It was a confirmation, at least in the eyes of the internet. But it's not just who Cardi might be having a child with that has people worked up. It's what that relationship represents. Because Stefon Diggs isn't exactly known for being relationship material. And if the rumors are true, Cardi might be repeating a cycle she fought so hard to escape. If Cardi B is really expecting a child with Stefon Diggs, fans aren't just surprised, they're concerned. Because Stefon doesn't exactly have the cleanest track record when it comes to relationships. In fact, many are now calling him Offset 2.0, and not in a good way. According to online reports, Stefon allegedly just welcomed a baby with model Giselle. The catch? It happened recently and quietly. No public statements, no baby shower posts, just whispers and subtle confirmation from those close to the situation. For fans watching Cardi's love life unfold, this raised one very uncomfortable question. Is she setting herself up for the same heartbreak again? Diggs, despite being a star on the field, has built a reputation off it too. A ladies' man, a commitment phobe, and, according to some, someone who's for the streets. It's the same label Offset earned after years of cheating scandals, emotional roller coasters, and headline-grabbing breakups with Cardi. The only difference? Offset had already shown his cards multiple times. With Stefon, fans feel like they're watching the same story replay, just with a new name and a different jersey. And for Cardi, who's already been through a turbulent marriage with a serial cheater, the optics aren't great. Supporters want to believe she's finally choosing peace, stability, and self-worth. But if these rumors are true, some fear she's falling for the same pattern, with a man cut from the exact same cloth. But this isn't just about love and relationships anymore. Cardi's at a major crossroads, and the decisions she makes right now could affect everything, including her entire music career. Cardi B isn't just a rapper. She's a brand. And that brand has been sitting on one of the most anticipated rap albums in recent memory. Her sophomore project, rumored to be titled Am I the Drama, was supposed to be her comeback moment, the era that finally shut down critics and reminded the world why she dominated with invasion of privacy. But now those plans might be in serious jeopardy. Insiders have claimed that Cardi's label, Atlantic Records, has invested millions into this next rollout, from expensive studio sessions to high-profile features and marketing campaigns. This album isn't just music. It's a business plan. And the one thing her label wants in return? A global tour. Touring is where the money comes back. It's how labels recoup their investments. It's how artists lock in brand deals, merch, and streaming boosts. But if Cardi is pregnant or becomes visibly pregnant in the coming months, that could derail everything. A delayed tour, canceled dates, rescheduled promo cycles. And for Atlantic, that's not just inconvenient, it's costly. Some fans argue she could still drop the album and tour afterward, especially if she gives birth early enough in the cycle. But others say the label's already running out of patience. After all, this is the same Cardi who's had false starts and scrapped singles for years. This was supposed to be her redemption arc, a flawless return. Now, pregnancy rumors threaten to turn that into another pause, another delay, another question mark. But while the music world was already on edge, waiting for Cardi to deliver, literally and figuratively, another controversy crept in. And this time, it had nothing to do with her love life and everything to do with her newest single. Just as Cardi B's fans were debating baby bumps and Stefon Diggs rumors, a completely different storm started brewing, this time over her music. And it came from a name most people hadn't heard until now. Rising rapper Risa stepped forward with a bold accusation. Cardi's latest single, Outside, sounds suspiciously like hers. According to Risa, she released a track titled Outside over 3 years ago. And when she heard Cardi's version, something clicked. The title, the vibe, the production. It all felt too familiar. To prove her point, Risa encouraged fans to compare the two songs. And once people did, the internet lit up again. The beats weren't identical, but the production style and mood were strikingly similar. It wasn't just about a title, it was about the sonic fingerprint, something even casual listeners could pick up on. Now, Cardi didn't directly respond. But what made things even more complicated was a long-standing critique that's followed her for years. She doesn't write or produce her own music. So, if there was copying involved, it likely didn't come from Cardi herself, but from her team that includes writers, producers, and A&Rs who are constantly sourcing sounds behind the scenes. Still, in the court of public opinion, Cardi's name is the one on the song. And for an artist trying to stage a major comeback, this kind of scandal, however subtle, can chip away at the narrative. Because when your return track is already being labeled as borrowed, the rollout isn't hitting how it was supposed to. And this kind of situation, it's becoming a pattern in the industry. The Cardi B and Risa situation isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a growing trend in the music industry where smaller artists call out major names for allegedly borrowing too heavily from their work. And the latest example before Cardi? It came from none other than Ditchy and Tyler, the creator. During Pharrell's Louis Vuitton fashion show, Ditchy premiered her new track, Get Right, in collaboration with Tyler. The fashion crowd loved it. Social media loved it. But one artist definitely didn't. MIA, an underground talent who quickly pointed out how similar the track sounded to her own song titled Boys. And, to be fair, MIA had a point. While the lyrics and vocals weren't identical, the creative direction, beat structure, and vibe of the two songs sparked undeniable comparisons. Fans noticed the same tempo, the same chaotic yet catchy energy, and even a similar vocal cadence. Some called it inspiration. Others called it imitation. Cardi B is now clapping back at the criticism with a strong statement. She defended her daughter, saying culture is still incredibly innocent and that there was nothing inappropriate about what she was wearing. And honestly, I agree. A 7-year-old in a one-piece swimsuit at the pool is perfectly normal. It's a bathing suit. She's at a pool, not a fashion show. There was nothing suggestive about it, and personally, I don't think anything was wrong with the photo. But of course, that's just my opinion. Cardi didn't stop there. She also took a moment to address the ongoing drama involving Offset and her current boyfriend, Scott Marley. For those who don't know, Scott is the ex of Stefon Diggs' former girlfriend. And rumors started flying after Cardi and Scott were spotted together at a bar. Naturally, fans began speculating about the timeline and connections, and Cardi has finally spoken out about her feelings on the situation. So, now I want to hear from you what you think about Cardi's defense of her daughter? And what's your take on the Offset and Scott Marley situation? It all started with a single clip, just a few seconds of footage from Cardi B's high-energy performance at the Ladyland Festival in New York City. On stage, she was doing what she always does, commanding attention, hyping the crowd, and moving with that signature confidence. But it wasn't her lyrics or dance moves that had fans buzzing. It was her stomach. Viewers immediately latched on to what looked like a small but noticeable bump beneath her outfit. Social media went into overdrive. Zoomed-in screenshots flooded Twitter. TikTok edits slowed the footage down frame by frame. And within hours, Cardi pregnant was trending. What made this different from the usual celebrity gossip was how visual it was. This wasn't just a blind rumor. People were watching the same clip, drawing the same conclusion, and asking the same question. Is Cardi B hiding a baby? She didn't address the buzz, didn't drop a comment, didn't post a clap back. And in the world of Cardi B, silence speaks volumes, especially when the timing overlaps with whispers that have already been floating around for weeks. Because long before this performance, a very specific rumor was already making waves, and it had everything to do with Cardi's alleged new man and a very unexpected pregnancy claim. Long before the Ladyland footage sparked baby bump rumors, one voice had already thrown gasoline on the fire. Goat Alexis, a social media personality known for dropping behind-the-scenes tea. And what she claimed wasn't just gossip, it was a bombshell. According to Alexis, a trusted birdie told her that Cardi B and NFL wide receiver Stefon Diggs are not only dating, but allegedly expecting a child together. Her exact words, "She's pregnant." There's nothing wrong with Cardi having another child. But with Stefon Diggs, the internet barely had time to process it before fans started connecting dots. Cardi had been spotted getting cozy with Stefon earlier in the year after her relationship with Offset quietly fell apart again. When Cardi began stripping, things started to change. But contrary to what you might think, entering the club didn't immediately boost her confidence or empower her, at least not at first. She didn't have the body type that most of the club regulars were into. When she first started dancing, she stayed slender, and in her community, curves were highly valued. As a result, she found herself being ignored and feeling like she didn't fit the ideal again, which only deepened the damage to her already fragile self-esteem. After years of bullying and struggling with feelings of inadequacy, Cardi eventually saved up enough money for her first surgery, a breast augmentation. She got it done at 18, and for a while, it truly lifted her spirits. Finally, she started to feel a bit more confident,